You're listening to The Kickouts,
where we believe Becky Lynch is better at taking a punch than Conor McGregor.
I am the face that runs the place.
Long live it.
Goodbye and good night.
coming to you from Near FM Studios. Welcome to another edition of The Kickouts, your weekly pro wrestling guides right here on 90.3 Near FM, the EMC Podcast Network, and all good podcasting providers. I'm Dave Cullen, and I'm joined by a man who could easily go to a wrestling school and be instantly safer than Nia Jax, Daragh Maher. Daragh, how are you this afternoon?
Well, I am going to a wrestling school, Dave, so...
Therefore, you're safer than Nia Jax?
I say so. I hope so. I hope so.
Well, you haven't any complaints from being too stiff from anyone yet, so you haven't accidentally crushed anyone's face lately, have you?
No, I haven't broken anybody's face. What the hell? It's not. It's like a medical term. Like, it's a broken face.
Fracture the cheekbone or something.
That could have worked. That would have been so much better. But no, broken face.
Oh no, I never heard of either until it was.
You always say that, like, either you're with your mates or maybe like uncles, or you'd hear it on the street saying, "Oh, break your face," but it's not a thing.
Well, maybe WWE or maybe paying tribute to Becky in the sense that they're trying to make the injury as Irish as possible.
Oh yeah, she broke her face.
She broke her face.
She broke her face.
Her nose is bleeding.
Oh, bleeding out. The bleeding.
We shouldn't be having to go at that, like, you know. But the same, like, we're just trying to put humor into the otherwise unfortunate situation. But which we'll get on to a bit later on. But on that, actually, like, you're back wrestling a bit more into training now, aren't you? You're back at the beginners now, aren't you? Since the open day.
Yeah, the beginners classes. Really enjoying it. You know, it's exactly what you need, man. Especially like if you have done it before, you need to get back into it. It's just perfect. It just refreshes everything.
I imagine so.
In your mind. It's great. It's great. You know.
You never know.
I went like today. Well, today technically. Technically today. I went. Because we don't record this beforehand.
At least we don't.
On the day.
We hint it now and then, I suppose, but no, it's definitely Saturday.
Yeah, this is definitely Saturday,
This is live.
17th of November?
Oh, great! You checked your phone there. You'll have a laptop right in front of you. Just count to two.
I don't have the date on my laptop here in front of me. I have the time.
It
gives me the day.
Oh, okay.
It definitely doesn't say Thursday on it. It definitely doesn't say 8:30 on Thursday.
It definitely doesn't.
No,
it doesn't.
No,
it's just a few minutes past 4:30. We're live. We're definitely live.
We're here live.
But we are coming to you from Near FM Studios in the beautiful North Dublin village of Coolock. We're bringing you more of the latest news, results, previews, rumours and more from the world of professional wrestling. We're giving you all the latest news from the world of pro wrestling, both here and abroad, reviewing the past week's action with our top 10 of the week from WWE and OTT. We'll also be previewing events coming up from the likes of Courage, Low Blows, Phoenix and OTT. All that to come, but first we're going to start, as always, with the news.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Also, good news, everyone.
We're going to start with news concerning Revolution Pro Wrestling over in the UK, where a rematch from earlier this year has been made official for Wrestle Kingdom 13. At last Friday's Rev Pro Uprising event in London, Tomohiro Ishii defeated David Starr to retain the British heavyweight title. Following the match, members...
What was that for?
You know perfectly why.
Whoa.
You know perfectly why.
Okay.
We'll talk about it later. The members of Suzuki... following the match, members of Suzuki Gun, Ellis Parado, Taichi, Minoru Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr. came in and put the boots into him. Unable to defend himself, Zack Sabre Jr. then appeared and said he was invoking his contractual obliged rematch, and this time he wanted it at Wrestle Kingdom 13. Sabre Sabre lost the championship to Tomohiro Ishii back in April 6th at Rev Pro's WrestleCon show in New Orleans, Louisiana. Ishii then lost the title to Minoru Suzuki during the Strong Style Evolved UK tour in Manchester in July. Ishii then regained the title last month during a Rev Pro / New Japan Global Wars event back in October 14th. Ishii most recently defended the title at Power Struggle, where he defeated Suzuki to retain the championship. Of course, Wrestle Kingdom will take place at the Tokyo Dome next year, January 4th. So it's cool they're adding like more. I feel like because of the developing relationship between Rev Pro and New Japan, it's cool to see like a title from them being involved in Wrestle Kingdom, because it's happened with the Ring of Honor title.
Yeah, it happened with the Ring of Honor title. That seems to have gone by the wayside a little bit.
Well, not really. I don't know what the story
They
is.
didn't defend it last year.
They did.
No, they didn't.
Was it not?
That was the year before. That was Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly.
No, oh, you're right. It was supposed to be originally. You're right. It was originally Cody. Originally supposed to defend against Kota Ibushi, but he lost the title before that to. Who lost it to again? Sorry.
Jay Lethal, was
Thank you. Yeah, Jay Lethal. So, and he's had it for almost a year now. So, but it's cool that they're like, it adds more prestige to the Rev Pro title. Which here's a question for you: which title do you think is more important in the UK, the Rev Pro British title or the Progress title?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I would, notoriety wise, maybe Progress, but see, I don't follow Rev Pro much, I'll be honest.
It seems like both championships leads to bigger things. Progress for WWE, Rev Pro for New Japan.
True. Yeah. I guess they're both important for different promotions.
Yeah.
So they carry their own importance. So it's kind of in the eye of the person giving their opinion. Whether you think that representing WWE is more important than representing New Japan, or vice versa.
It's definitely.
What do you think?
Again, I think they have equal importance, but I would probably. I would say maybe because it's directly more linked to New Japan than Progress is linked to WWE, I'd go the Rev Pro title. That's just my opinion, because you see all these New Japan guys hold the championship. Your Suzuki's, your Ishihis, your Zack Sabre Juniors now. Like, so for me, the prestige is way more there. Like, it has bigger names that have held the title. No offense to Progress, like it's an awesome promotion, obviously, but they have guys who would go on to the next best thing. Your Pete Dunne, your Travis Banks, your who's champion at the moment, Walter. Yeah. And so like they're guys who the next period of time will be probably in WWE or in the big leagues to such a degree. Now they're not already, but
I would prefer to see Walter in New Japan than WWE, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But like, because of the working relationship I think WWE are getting with WXW, it's probably more likely WWE than New Japan. But then again,
but Walter didn't go for the tryouts. Did you notice that?
I heard about that. Yeah,
he wasn't there for them. So maybe because he doesn't want to go there.
Well, maybe he's one.
Euron Simmons was there. Now imagine Euron Simmons doing his intro.
Oh, they wouldn't have
his
time.
entrance. Sorry.
NXT
show.
Yes, main roster never. Like how much they've chopped Finn Balor's entrance in the main roster.
Yeah.
Like, enough said. We'll move on in the meantime. Continuing with WWE, there have been a few wrestlers have returned to ICW.
Yeah, a member of the WWE main roster wrestled at last Sunday's insane championship wrestling show in Glasgow, Scotland. None other than Sanity's own Killian Dane appeared at ICW's Fight Club event on Sunday night and defeated Mikey Whiplash. Heading into the show, ICW had announced that Whiplash would be facing a wrestler from WWE. As Big Damo, Dane was a world champion for ICW prior to joining WWE. Dane also took part in SmackDown's house show in Glasgow earlier on Sunday, which was the final stop on this month's WWE European Tour. ICW announced on Sunday that WWE's Noam Dar will be in action at Fear and Loathing 6 at the SSE Hydro on December 2nd. He'll team with Wolfgang and BT Gunn in a 6-man tag match against British Strong Style of course, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate and Trent Seven. Dar has also returned to ICW at Shrug's House Party 4, Night 1 in 2017, teaming with Shah Samuels to defeat Bram and Joe Coffey.
It's definitely cool that, like, and it's again, it's another thing WWE have done lately, like, where they've allowed, like, some of their like, they've allowed people to still go back to their home indies, if you like, now and then, like, or let them branch out a bit more, like
the shows that they like.
Yeah, true. Like, your ICWs, your Progresses.
Yeah, you don't see
your South Sides now and then.
Yeah, you don't see the likes of
Well, it wouldn't be OTT. That's what
Yeah,
I mean.
exactly. You wouldn't see the likes of Finn and Sheamus going to OTT or Becky showing up at OTT. Now, I know Finn did when he was injured,
Yeah.
but that he's okay to compete now. No.
I'm just saying, actually.
What?
Becky's injured. But there's no OTT show.
There's no
most of the year.
OTT show until December 2nd.
Unless she shows up at
which is a
Contenders.
contender show.
Stranger things have happened.
Strange things.
I'm not
have
predicting
happened.
it. I don't want to think it could happen.
Don't get yourself all worked up, Dave.
I'm not saying it should happen. I'm just saying it can happen.
You know what will help?
What?
Going on to the next news story.
Let's do that.
Segueing into the next news story.
And this isn't-
Where is my segue?
You're still looking for
All
a
this
segue?
time I still haven't got my segue.
It's been 20 shows ago and you're still looking for that segue.
I know.
But this is very intriguing news. WWE have added a stipulation to this year's Mixed Match Challenge, where it was announced on Monday that the winners of the Mixed Match Challenge tournament will be the 30th entrants in their respective Royal Rumble matches happening in January next year. WWE are also promoting that the winners will receive an all expenses paid vacation to anywhere in the world. I don't get why they have to mention that, but never mind. The 4 teams who are undefeated in the tournament face each other at this week's episodes, where Ember Moon and Braun Strowman defeated Mickie James and Bobby Lashley in the Raw match, and Charlotte Flair and Jeff Hardy, who replaced AJ Styles, beat Asuka and The Miz in the SmackDown match. So it looks now like Ember Moon, Strowman, Charlotte and AJ or Jeff. Imagine AJ will be back in that picture again. Like Mickey's just out this week. Will be the guys who could be there. So it certainly adds an interesting. For one, I imagine it's a reason that you watch Mixed Match Challenge now.
Yeah.
Because honestly, no offense to them, I've been
I
struggling.
still probably won't. I'll
Probably.
be honest. I haven't watched it. There's too much to watch, Dave.
I agree.
There's way too much to
So
watch.
if anything, it's this.
Yeah. So I think it probably nailed on then that Miz and Asuka will probably win.
Well, Miz and Asuka, this is their first loss now since the first loss ever as a team.
I
in
think
fact.
either them or would you see? This is the thing. I'm trying to see who they position in number 30. Braun to be number 30.
You don't need to put him number 30.
No.
He would just clean up the whole ring.
Ember Moon is number 30 as well.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bobby Lashley and Mickie James, who just lost.
No.
I don't know. I mean,
I
they're
don't think so.
they're outsiders, therefore they're better as 30 rather than
Yeah.
heavy favourites who are 30.
I don't think so. Charlotte and Jeff Hardy is interesting.
Makes more sense if you think about
Mm.
it. Well, you know,
It could actually lead to an interesting feud that could go on to SmackDown between Jeff and AJ Styles, saying like, "Oh, I won the tournament. No, I won the tournament. It was my team. You stepped in for a week and stuff, and you know."
have a 30 and a 31 in the Rumble.
Or maybe just they have a match to see who will actually be number 30.
That isn't a bad idea, actually.
Yeah.
That actually is a good call. So yeah, if they win for that reason, that's fine. And
Yeah.
Charlotte's not going to be champion for, I don't think, going into outside the Rumble, unless the worst comes to worst. But we don't know for sure yet. We'll have to see
Yeah.
what happens. So we'll see what happens in the meantime. So let's finish off the news with a story concerning Cody Rhodes.
Yes, the results of Cody Rhodes' MRI on his knee came in on Monday, and he suffered a large meniscus tear in an injury on Friday night's Global Wars show in Buffalo. The injury occurred when he pivoted his foot, just moving, and not the result of any move. He heard a loud pop. Supposedly, it was when he was throwing a t-shirt into the crowd. The surgery will require arthroscopic surgery. Right now his plan is to get surgery in January after New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 13. While not announced, based on the angle of last Sunday night in Toronto, it looks like he will defend his IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship against Juice Robinson on that show. Cody missed Sunday night's match in Toronto against Beretta, and Robinson took his place in the match and won. The usual New Japan protocol: if a champion misses a title defense, the substitution matches for the title, but in this case that would have changed schedule plans. Cody tweeted on Monday afternoon, "Good news is my doctor is fairly confident and that my MCI, PCL, ACL are structurally sound. Bad news is the meniscus is fairly damaged, going to require a scope. No dates will be adjusted at the moment, and I'll definitely still compete in the final battle main event and at Wrestle Kingdom."
So he seems pretty determined to be back. Like,
It's interesting though, like, I don't know, have you seen anything about how long meniscus surgeries take to repair.
Well, I imagine any knee injuries would be complicated. Like, I think, didn't Seth Rollins have a similar injury before
I'm not too
WrestleMania,
sure.
before he
No, I
faced
think
Triple
he
H?
did his ACL.
You
Was it?
sure?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. But I'm only thinking because I don't know. I think he announced beforehand anyway, but does that take him out of Madison Square Garden show?
It shouldn't. Because if it's Wrestle Kingdom, it's in
But
January.
I think, didn't he announce that he wasn't going to be at it? I think somebody
Well, that's different.
somebody
That's
from
something
the
to do with his
Elite
injury.
announced that they're not going to be at the show.
All right.
And I can't remember who. And obviously speculation then started saying, oh, because he's going to WWE.
Well, it didn't actually say it concerning his injury though. So
No, he made this announcement before his injury was there anyway. That's why I was thinking if he didn't, this announcement was made, before this injury came through. And I
right.
can't remember if it was Cody or not that did it.
Right.
So if Cody wasn't the one to make that announcement saying he wasn't going to be at MSG
Right.
and he planned to,
Right.
this injury could force him not to be there.
Possibly. It's certainly. Oh, it's interesting. Like, you know, but I like to think if imagine he is confident that he'll definitely still compete. That I'm sure he's aware of the scope of how long his injury will take to be. To be back, and as he said here, his MCL, PCL, and ACL are structurally sound, so it's only the meniscus.
Yeah.
So it's not like a lot of the really bad injuries. All of these ligaments are damaged.
Yeah.
All of them. So and that takes forever to repair, I imagine. But in this case, I imagine it'll take him maybe shorter than we'll expect. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But I'm only going by Seth Rollins' injury. But then again, was that work? That particular injury again?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
You just don't know. So that's why it's hard to tell, though. So
I know you said this is the last piece of news, but we'll say one more piece.
yeah, go for it.
Have you seen the latest trailer for Paige's movie?
I actually haven't. Yes.
No. It's interesting. It has a good cast. You got the likes of Nick Frost is playing her dad.
Right.
I can't remember her real name, but the woman that plays Cersei Lannister in Game of Thrones is her mom.
Okay.
The Rock is obviously in it.
Now, forgive me. Cersei Lannister is the queen, and
Yeah.
oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
Intriguing to see her with red hair.
this is the interesting one, right?
Right.
Vince Vaughn is in the film as a trainer. Okay? Can you guess what trainer he is?
Okay, Vince Vaughn. He's a
Who
wrestling trainer.
do you think Vince Vaughn looks like in terms of
In terms
trainer?
of trainers. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
In terms of trainers, like this is people who are in the PC.
Yeah,
was
like
around back
a
then.
Matt Bloom or something like
the
that.
PC started around then, wasn't it? When Paige came up, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's not Matt Bloom. It can't be Matt Bloom. God, I don't know. I honestly, that's a tricky one. Robbie Brookside.
No.
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 I'm trying to guess them all here. Billy Gunn.
No.
No.
Actually, it doesn't matter.
Is that a hint?
No,
No, it can't be
no,
because The Rock's in it.
No, it doesn't matter.
No, who was it?
No, it actually doesn't matter because what I looked at was
Just a trainer, was it? Or I
no,
suppose
it was a rumor, but it's false. Someone on Google said that he was actually meant to be
Vince McMahon.
Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn is Jake the Snake.
No, he's not though. He's just a guy called in the casting on IMDb.
Right.
He's just called Hutch.
Hutch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was there a trainer called Hutch?
Don't know.
I'm searching that right now, actually. Hang on.
Sheamus is in it.
Sheamus is in it.
Sheamus is in it as himself.
Right.
Selena Vega is AJ Lee.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
She's actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's actually a better wrestler than she gives herself credit for, so
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not aware of a Hutch in WWE, so I guess it's just a trainer no one's heard of.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't even know. But it's intriguing. Like, this is
There's see, I don't know if it's true. I think it is because he retweeted it and saying, I can't wait to get the royalties from it. But in the trailer, they're standing in the ring doing doing WWE tryouts.
Right.
And a certain person that resembles a certain Mr. Pete Dunne
Oh, who's that?
is in the ring.
Who resembles Pete Dunne?
Yeah.
Oh, he's training in the ring.
Yeah, because he would have came up around the same time.
Did he have a blue top on?
No, he was like wearing his gear where he had like the hair parted to one side and he had the like furry jacket on.
Oh, that's you didn't even.
But there's nothing in the IMDb thing to say that he is playing Pete Dunne. But Pete Dunne did retweet and say, "I can't wait to get the royalties from it."
So he's obviously noticed it.
Yeah.
Was it actually him though?
It wasn't actually Pete Dunne. It was an actor playing Pete Dunne.
But it's just
if it is Pete Dunne.
But it's just an Easter egg on the trailer.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's funny as hell. I actually can't wait.
You have to look for the trailer.
Oh well, no, we'll check it out on the break. Before we get to the break, though, we will first talk about our previews of the week.
Why, look at what we have here, folks!
And there's a fair amount of previews coming up. We'll start obviously happening tonight. Courage Wrestling is back on the Rights venue in Dublin. There's still tickets available on eventbrite.ie, as we mentioned on our Twitter page, by the way.
Very limited tickets as well, by the way.
Indeed, like we as we mentioned obviously on our Twitter page, we still have I don't know if we know much information, but we've had a huge response already to the contest we had for the tickets, haven't we, for the giveaway?
Yeah. Thanks to everyone that entered. Obviously, this is Thursday, so by the time you listen to this,
it's Saturday.
The winner has been announced. So congratulations to the winner. We will see you at the show later.
Fix the clock on your laptop. It's a Saturday, Daragh.
I'm sorry, I'm going by Thursday.
All right.
Then we should really tell the winner who won.
Okay. But anyway, the matches are announced so far. TK Cooper versus Dmitry Krakovich versus Julian Pace in a triple threat match.
Yeah.
Shayna will be defending her Queen of Southside title against Laura Di Matteo.
Yeah.
Jetta will take on Jazzy Gabberts 1-on-1. That's going to be an intriguing match, especially in the back of the last match. Of course, you have Joe Coffey, Chris Ridgway, Tucker, Spike, Travat, Club Rock Shandy, Retro Galactica, and of course Pac. Yeah. All announced for the card as well. Now, we haven't heard, at least at this moment in time, who Pac will be facing.
No, but there was a video released during the week by
Tucker.
Alexander Dean and Tucker.
Oh, both have.
Yeah, and both. Joe Coffey tweeted out as well. They've all sent challenges out to Pac. They all want to be the one to face Pac.
Interesting. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Happening this upcoming Monday.
There was another match announced, wasn't there?
That's all the matches I've seen.
No, it's Chris Ridgway against Nathan Byrne.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
You're right. I forgot to mention that. My apologies. But happening on Monday then, Low Blows will be having their No Spoiler Monday for WWE Survivor Series on the next day, November 19th at Buskers in the Ball. So for anyone who doesn't want to stay up late on Sunday or may have worked the next day, this is a perfect opportunity to check it out. Tickets are available at eventbrite.ie, free of course for Low Blows Network subscribers. You can avoid spoilers. No day off work required. Just come in, enjoy the show, reasonable time, get the last bus home with no Temple Bar prices for booze. And there'll still be a Survivor Series. They have their Survivor Series quiz that'll still take place. It's like a tradition they always have now, the table quiz. And they also have the new WWE 2K19 available to play. Doors open at 4:30 with the main card starting at 6:30. So it's definitely something to check out as well. And the local and the No Spoiler Mondays are actually awesome, because it's quiet, it's in the bar, there's not too many. It can be a good crowd. I imagine it still will because it's Survivor Series. It's still one of the big shows.
Yeah,
but it's always great crack when it's there. So cool. So it's definitely worth checking out. So anyway, happening next week now, Phoenix Wrestling will be back for their show Is It Politically Correct to Shout Suck It, which is, again, they're so brilliant with their names. It's not even funny. Happening on Saturday, November 24th at Dolan's Warehouse in Limerick. There's still tickets available at eventbrite.ie. Only one match announced so far. That's Raven Creed will take on Debbie Cattell in the first round of the Empress Tournament, where they'll be deciding their new Empress champion, which is a class. It's a nice little title to have for the championship as well, rather than just women's title.
It's very, very interesting that's the first championship that they're announcing as well.
They should call their main title, their men's title, the Emperor title. Then
maybe that's what they're going to do.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Steve Savage, Sean Guinness, Justy and LJ Cleary are all set to appear on that card as well, so it should be interesting. Also, anyone from Limerick, please note that tickets are also available at the Hard Knocks Tattoo Studio over in Limerick as well. And the final preview we have this week is OTT Contenders 12, which will be happening Sunday, December 2nd.
God, that's the last wrestling show of the year?
last one in Dublin that we're aware of anyway, the OTT are doing, happening at the Ringside Club National Stadium in Dublin. There's still tickets available on eventbrite.ie. Just announced this week, Curtis Murray will defend his NLW title against Paddy M.
Oh, no, wait, I'm wrong. There is another show in Dublin.
Oh, yeah?
MSW announced that they're doing a show December 8th.
That's true. They're doing their Christmas show.
Yeah. December 8th, is that right?
I don't know.
That's 6 days after. Yeah, it is, yeah.
It's not far away anyway, so...
Yeah.
Raven Creed will defend her OTT women's title against Jordan Grace. That'll be a match.
That will be some match.
It will be some match. Former champion versus former champion will be Jordan Devlin taking on Terry Thatcher 1-on-1. No disrespect meant by that, by the way.
No, I just found it funny. Did you see how that started? And Terry Thatcher sent out a video at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning challenging.
Did he?
Yeah, challenging Jordan Devlin.
At 4 in the morning?
It was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Was it in the middle of Temple Bar or something?
No, he was in his house. It was fun. It was brilliant. I don't know if it was planned or not. If it wasn't planned, it was genius.
I will get to Jordan.
If it's planned, if it was planned, it's even better.
Oh, I don't know. Michael May, Sean Guinness, and Masato Tanaka will take on More Than Hype. I'm looking forward to seeing Tanaka now. It should be an awesome match. And a tag team match, Amy Alonzi and Debbie Cattell will take on the team of Valkyrie and Katie Harvey. Now, it's just announced also, we should make a quick announcement. Now, obviously, the last OTT show in periods will be on the 16th of December in Belfast. It was announced also this week a special Kings of the North Cup match that will be taking place. Will be Adam Maxted.
Future OTT shot on the line.
Indeed. Adam Maxted, Damien Corvin, Tucker, and Curtis Murray will decide the next challenger for Walter. So I think that's an awesome match. Like, imagine that it'll be the next challenger to happen in Belfast, but it could be in Dublin.
Could be, yeah.
That'd be an interesting one. Like any one of those 4 guys could win it as well.
Yeah, I fancy Corbin.
Corbin may look from an outside, but I wouldn't underestimate anyone.
Yeah, I'd rule out Curtis Murray only because he only just won the NLW title.
He's currently champion. Yeah.
Like Tucker wouldn't be a bad one.
Neither would Max said. I think Max said severely underrated personally. So like we don't see him as often, but like
no, we see him more in Belfast.
Yeah, that's it. So we'll see what happens anyway. But anyway, that's our previews of the week. When we return, we will continue our show with our top 10 of the week. Or after the short break.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.
Oh my God! So close! He kicked out! He kicked out! He kicked out!
Tune in to The Kickout, your weekly pro wrestling guides, right here on 90.3 Near FM, covering all the latest news, results, previews, rumours, and more from the world of professional wrestling, as well as covering the wrestling scene right here in Ireland. Join us every Saturday afternoon at 4:30 p.m. right here on 90.3 Near FM.
In the future, roving bands of comic book podcasts will savage the wasteland, once known as the Internet. One podcast, the Grawlix Podcast, may not be the biggest, may not be the funniest, may not be the most well-spoken. Wait, what was my point again? Oh yes, the Grawlix Podcast. Listen to it at grawlixpodcast.com. That's GRAWLIX podcast.com.
We're back here on The Kickouts, your weekly pro wrestling guides. Now let's continue on our show with our top 10 of the week. Boy, has this week been a week of changes.
It's been interesting.
With a capital I and an exclamation point, I think. Because, like, there's been... Obviously, it's been the go-home shows of Raw and SmackDown and NXT gone Survivor Series and War Games. But there's change... There's all this... Like, for all that's happened, it's almost unexpected. Like, there's a lot of... Damn. Or, wow.
I think there's been a lot of...
Hell damn blast.
I think there's been a lot of booking on the fly.
Yeah, but...
I think there's been a lot of that.
Some with no choice, but some with some seems okay. Why did you do that? Like, because it's no particular reason. We'll get into it anyway. We'll talk. We'll start with our top 10 at number 10 with goings on from 205 Live. Like so. So this week it's just a lead up, but it's mainly just leading up to the main match between Buddy Murphy and Mustafa, Ali.
The only thing I saw of 205 Live this week was a GIF of Leo Rush selling the lumbar check.
Oh, but he's such a good seller. It wasn't just that. Like, it's the way he sold. That was a very competitive match between the two of them. Like, you know, and it gives two stories in the sense where it's Cedric Alexander finally back to winning ways. It's his first win now since he lost the title to Buddy Murphy in Australia, and it's Leo Rush's first defeats in 205 Live now.
Yeah.
So, but by God, the man can sell. You know, so I'm digging Leo Rush not just as a wrestler, but as even as the manager of Bobby Lashley as well.
A
Like,
hype man.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a hype man. He does well. Or,
He may not be a high man, but he's a hype man.
oh, he's not. Maybe yeah.
There's a show title for you right there.
Not a high man, but a hype man.
Yeah.
I like it. Jack Gallagher and Drew Gulak beat Akira Tozawa and Brian Kendrick in a good match, partly due to miscommunication between Tozawa and Kendrick because they had their rivalry before. I don't think they're not as tight as Gallagher and Gulak, let's put it that way. Yeah, Buddy Murphy and Mustafa Ali, they weighed in for their cruiserweight title match and got into a bit of a brawl afterwards, and then Lucha Underground just won Enhanced Empire. I imagine that's probably just enhanced them gone to
This
the
is the
tag
thing.
team match.
What do you think now about Lucha Underground? Are they going to be on Raw, or is this just them borrowing Lucha Underground from 205 Live because Raw don't have enough teams to do the Survivor Series match?
I think it could be both, because I think of it, because Leo Rush is involved on Raw as the manager of Bobby Lashley, as you mentioned. What's to say that they can use them as a tag team as well? I mean, why not?
Are they still doing this whole cruiserweights are exclusive to Raw thing?
Well, they've sort of not mentioned.
Are they doing it without saying it, sort of
Well,
thing?
maybe Raw are finally not embarrassed by saying that anymore.
Yeah.
They can finally
don't
say
have
yes, we actually are.
Yeah.
Like if it was this time last year, oh God, no, we're
They
not
don't have to
associated
go
with the
on a big
cruiserweights.
long. They don't have to go big long ad breaks so they can change the ropes and the ring mat.
No, please don't do that. Please don't do that. You don't have. Please, no. Just you're representing. It shouldn't be the case anyway. I'm not even doing that anymore. It's white
No,
ropes.
they don't. I know. Yeah, I know. They why aren't they using the red? It's Raw.
Yeah, but
I always see that's
no, but even for 205, it's white ropes.
yeah, and for SmackDown's too, and it's white ropes.
Oh, it's not blue ropes.
No, it's white.
I suppose it adds neutrality to it, which isn't the worst thing.
I don't know. Like, I'm kind of a stickler for these things.
I appreciate your
You know,
appreciation for Pacifics.
I can understand like once a year when they did like breast cancer awareness month, one of the ropes would be pink.
Yeah.
So they changed it to, in Raw it'd be easy to change, I think. They just put one there. No, on SmackDown it was easy. The middle rope would just be pink, but they changed the other ones white on Raw and make the middle one pink, which would be cool. But like if it's Raw, everything around Raw is red. That is the predominant colour. It's got to be your ropes. Ropes have got to be red. You know, that is your colour. Same with SmackDown. Blue is the predominant
They
colour.
make up for. Could you argue they make up for it because the surrounding lighting is blue?
No.
It has to be the ropes.
I think it's the ropes. It's one of the most prominent parts. It's the thing that's there for most of the time. Is the ropes.
I kind of see your point, but at the same time, I feel the atmosphere of the lighting can add more than just the rope. I know I'm with you, but I don't think. But I think things can make up for it.
Yeah.
Yes, like so that'd be my case on that one. So. Speaking of SmackDown, we'll get on to that number 9. The match between Miz and Rey Mysterio, which adds to the hype for the match at Survivor Series now, because now Miz for some strange reason, is the standalone captain on SmackDown.
That was announced before the WWE title match. Anyway, the winner of that was announced. That was weird.
So it just came out of the blue as well, which I like. You know, it didn't seem.
So like Daniel Bryan challenging for the title this past week on SmackDown, basically forfeited him being the captain. You know.
Which I don't understand.
Now this is all on the fly. It's obvious this booking has been done last minute because of what happened to Becky.
Pretty much. No, but how does this affect Becky though?
Well, actually, no, it's not.
This
From
particular
what
one shouldn't affect Becky.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Because what I heard was, and now this is from Wrestling Observer, so take this with a huge pinch of salt.
Of course.
They only mentioned last week that WWE had no plans for Daniel Bryan. So, exactly.
Yeah. My head hurts. I don't get what's good. What is it? Just
I fully believe, and I've believed this for a while, that they intentionally, like Dave Meltzer's quote unquote sources in WWE, purposely feed him bullshit. a few things right every now and again so he can keep believing them, but then he feel the bullshit ones.
All right, well,
laugh.
well, hang on a second. Maybe that's not a bad thing, because think about it. The way you presented that to me, Wrestling Observer, take it with a pinch of salt. Maybe the sources don't want to give it to Dave.
They don't.
That's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
That's a good thing.
It's a really good thing.
Because, you know,
but you know, for some strange reason, Dave Meltzer is like the standard bearer when it comes to like wrestling reporting and stuff like that.
well, it's questionable due to comments he made as of late. But
yeah, because he's an arsehole.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but he is.
Yeah, but
anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, supposedly Vince made up his mind like over the past weekend that he didn't want AJ versus Brock Part 2. So he changed it and he put Daniel Bryan. But he was going to keep Daniel Bryan as a face. But Daniel Bryan had been the one that has been pushing to be the heel for a while. He's actually wanted to be a heel for a while.
Oh, backstage, I mean.
Yeah, he's been pushing to be a heel. And then he just decided, well, you're going to be champ. Best way to do it is a heel.
I agree.
So that's probably his part. So still, I think that's why they made a bit of a mess anyway.
Well, we'll save that for later, because we'll talk about Bryan win the title later on.
But going back to my original point, that's why I think it was kind of booked on the fly, this whole thing, because I think what they were going to originally do was continue on the story of Daniel Bryan slowly starting to turn heel, maybe not as quick while he was one of the co-captains.
It came out of nowhere just like that, though, is what I mean, though. So
yeah, I thought him and Miz were going to be the ones that were going to cost him the match.
Possibly.
But obviously that's not going to happen anymore.
Yeah. Anyway, what happened was where Paige just gave Bryan the chance to replace Bryan on SmackDown as a team, as he's the only captain now. Yeah. He had Jeff Hardy, but he didn't want Ray in the team simply because that was Bryan's pick.
Yeah.
And wanted a clean slate. And Paige offered, okay, if you beat Ray tonight, he's off the team, and it was actually a good match. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't think we've ever seen them wrestle together before as well. So
they wrestled. Well, actually, no, they didn't. Some people said they wrestled at some random event a couple of weeks ago. I've never heard of it.
Well, on TV.
I never heard of it though. No, it was on.
Where are these out of nowhere coming from Randy Orton, by the way?
I don't know. We think he's just a salty fella, isn't he?
Lately, I think he is. Yeah,
he's just so salty.
Anyway, we'll move on. In at number 8,
he can't do poos in people's bag anymore, and he can't whip his Johnson out on people's shoulders or anything like that.
That's a long time ago as well. So he's trying to be crazy.
So he just comes into the ring and randomly RKOs people.
Let's quickly move on to number 8. NXT UK. Now, it's now on the way, the women's tournaments now for the title. Mm-hmm. So the matches.
Spoiler alert! Everybody already knows.
Yeah, well, let's tell what we know so far from anyone who doesn't know. So the matches announced on the first episode was Jeannie against Millie McKenzie, Toni Storm against Nina Samuels. Oh, wait a second, that's wrong. No, sorry, it was Dakota Kai against Shay Samuels, and it was Storm against Isla Dawn, and Rhea Ripley against Xia Brookside. Sorry, I was written here differently. Mm-hmm. And he had Kai beat Samuels and Jeannie beat McKenzie on the next week. Just again, it was a 2-episode week like they've been doing. Do you know Millie McKenzie's only 18 years old?
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that until today.
That's crazy.
She's mad, and she's that good already. That's incredible. She has all the potential in the world with that. Like, that's madness. Jordan Devlin could be starting the rivalry with Ligaro now.
I've seen they've been having a little back and forth on Twitter. Yeah, it's interesting.
Should be interesting indeed as
They'd
well.
They'd have a great match.
Oh, absolutely.
Have a great match.
You had other highlights of it where it seems now that the Coffees and Wolfgang could be starting the rivalry now with British Strong Style more, because Zach Gibson beat Trent Seven in a good match where James Drake helped Gibson win. So the grizzled young veterans, as they were known in Progress, now look like they're going to be a tag team. So that's going to be cool for them to compete against maybe Mustache Mountain for the tag titles as well. Mm-hmm. So they're adding
what tag titles?
The NXT tag titles they're eventually going to be doing later on. They also, Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster also announced themselves as a team for that as well. So they're doing the women's titles now, but they're probably doing the tag titles later on, and already they're adding different teams down into it, so it's a good thing.
Okay, cool.
So I'm all for that. So definitely lots to look forward to there. So it's shaping more slowly but surely the whole thing, like, you know. So it should be interesting to see how it all goes down anyway. Anyway, in at number 7, Finn Balor's involvement in getting into the Raw team, which started with Drew McIntyre's promo against Kurt Angle, where he said it was embarrassing, and he saw and when he saw him cry during his match last week, he thought it was the most disgusting thing he ever saw in his life. And then Finn Balor stood up to him, challenged him to a match, but took on Dolph Ziggler, won, and Seth awarded them a shot in place in the show.
Yeah,
simple as that.
Yeah,
but it's cool to see Finn in there. Right? Anyway, just from an Irish perspective, but
true. Can't wait to see him wears all red pants again.
All red stuff.
His red panties.
Like he wore and like he did
Survivor
from
Series last year.
And the Rumble as well. Didn't he wear all red for that as well?
Did he? I don't know.
I'm aware of anyway. In at number 6, NXT in general now, because
NXT ... In general,
because it's mainly three things that happen. It was all hype videos in NXT, as you'd imagine.
Pretty much. Like the week before and the week after NXT shows aren't really great because they're more just hyping or looking back,
or enhancement matches, or some good matches in between. In this
well,
case.
next week we're going to get a decent match because it's going to be Ono against Matt Riddle.
That's going to be good.
It's going to be recorded before Takeover on Saturday.
Yeah. But you have Bianca Belair took on Mia Yim, and that was a really good match. Like it was a real test for Belair. Like Belair is, I really hope was a future NXT Women's Champion. And Mia Yim
still undefeated. Yeah.
Yeah, but she took her like it was a good win for Belair because Yim took her into much deeper waters than she's been pretty much ever since she's been out of the Mae Young Classic. So
yeah,
and she's only getting better and better. Then they had the match between Kyle O'Reilly and Hansen, where the winner would earn the advantage in the War Games Classic, which I imagine is who goes first,
who goes last.
Who goes last?
Who can come out of the cage last? Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's not who. Yeah. It's not like.
Oh no! Yeah, it would be. Yeah. So
it's 1-on-1 to start, and then
we basically just said the same thing. We kind of did. Who goes out first and who comes out last? We basically said the same thing.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no.
We did. Yeah, we did.
It sounds like the opposite.
We'll move on. Yeah.
Anyway, Kyle O'Reilly beat Hansen, and it was a great finish with them all being involved in the end. Like so, but in the end, it was really competitive. It was actually a class match, between the two of them. So it's definitely one of the highlights of the week for me. Like so, really good main event and that really good closing angle to hype it as well. So
yeah, this match is just going to be insane.
Oh, I can't wait for it. In at number 5, Braun Strowman this week now, who destroyed the tag team battle royale and put Raw hostage in order to say, I want Braun Strowman right now. Stephanie came out.
Yep.
And Braun wasn't having it. Like, when was the last time you saw Steph almost back off before coming back? It's very rare to see Steph do that.
Anytime she sees Ronda Rousey in the ring.
That's a different story. Even there, like even then, she was a bit reluctant to even look at it. Never mind say anything to her, I suppose. So, but anyway, he said, "Listen, I want Baron Corbin." I'm like, "Listen, you have to understand. This is about Shane McMahon. I don't care about Shane. Just give me the match. Okay, listen, be on the Raw team. Okay, I'll be Raw on one condition. Give me a rematch of Brock and Corbin. Okay, but that's after.
Yeah.
And if I don't, I'll destroy the HQ." Rousey came out, taken to the mic. Then Baron Corbin came out, got his ass kicked by Rousey.
Well, he got flipped.
Yeah,
he got flipped.
The only thing I'll say,
don't put your hands on her. Simple.
The only thing I'll say about the whole thing with Braun attacking the Battle Royale just sort of killed the tag division. Big time.
Well, they had the match later on.
True, but
like we knew the tag division wasn't great on Raw. We keep saying it all the time.
So because of this, does it feel like almost like
it's the reason why AOP will probably hold the title for 10 years? Because no one decent on
at the moment, anyway.
Yeah.
Do you feel though? Yeah, but even after the match, like because Braun went through them almost so quickly, like they did. Do you feel like all the momentum, almost every bit of momentum, is on SmackDown? Like at least with the other two matches, there's a bit of evenness to it, almost.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like,
but this is the least frequent one in that case.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why it's probably on the pre-show.
It makes more sense. So you're smart with that booking anyway. And at number 4, continuing with Raw, finally Dean Ambrose explained his actions.
Can we talk about actually I loved the SmackDown tag team promo they had during SmackDown on Tuesday.
Yeah, let's mention this first. Yeah.
I actually really liked it.
Yeah, go for it.
I loved that they were going through the team and saying, look, all these guys have got problems with each other, but we unite for SmackDown. Then handing out t-shirts. I just love the way Eric Young at the end of Sanity is like, we unite through our purge.
We unite through our purge. I hate to say this about someone because it's probably not a funny thing to say, but like Do you know when you have one of those machines you put against your throats and you speak?
Yeah. A little bit, yeah.
I don't want to say that because it's a bit offensive.
A little bit, yeah. He's got a bit of a raspy voice.
But very raspy is what I'm trying to say.
Then I think beforehand, I think it's like you've got to. When they're talking to like the Good Brothers, and they're like, you've got to be too hard. You've got to be too callous. And then by the end of it, you've got to be too sweet. He goes like, yeah, we got you, brother. And it's like, and then Carl Anderson was just like, we got you, full life. What are you doing? You got no one full life.
That was funny, alright, yeah. We'll talk about the situation with Ambrose now, like, and where Corey Graves interviewed Seth Rollins, and he said despite the whole match with Nakamura, he feels obviously he's not focused on Nakamura. He clearly isn't. He says it's one thing when the ring, but right now he wants that's down. This is now what about Ambrose? Do you feel Ambrose's reasons is justified? He said
it has the stink of a paranoid man, you know.
He says he doesn't know.
Like, you've done it before. I'm going to get you before you get me. Sort of situation. I think he feels is.
Long story short, he felt that he used to think the Shield made him strong, but instead it makes him weak. Always having to watch their back. But now it's a new day.
Interesting. They mentioned Roman in it as well.
True. So and. Well, Rollins looked like he was going to cry before he headed backstage before Rollins burnt the Shield gear. So I think we're both agreed that Ambrose is going to get involved some way or another in that match against Nakamura. Drew Nakamura, surely.
Well, tune into our prediction podcast and you'll find out.
If you already did. Anyway, we'll continue on. In at number 3 now, we're getting to the heavy parts now of the top 10. So number 3, Daniel Bryan's heel turn.
Yeah.
And the new WWE champion.
Yeah.
Now, one of the big changes that happened in WWE this week.
That is massive.
After 371 days of AJ Styles being WWE champion, out of nowhere. Out of nowhere.
Right? Out of nowhere. This was like...
Sorry, Randy.
Again, well, like I was saying, it was short-term booking, but...
effective at the same time.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you just don't see it coming. Like, you didn't think AJ Styles was going to win the title when he first won it against Jinder Mahal. And
it was sort of strange of how it came about to be the match as well.
Things like, don't mention my name. What was all that about?
It sort of reminds you of like the old Aleister Black Velveteen Dream thing. Instead of not saying the name, it's saying the name.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, don't say my name. It's like, what does that have to do about it?
I imagine we'll have a better idea about this as we go on. Imagine like because of the way it's booked. I imagine, and here's the thing: even though it seems like very quick term booking, I imagine it's with something in mind.
Well, you'd want to think so.
I'd like to think so.
You'd want to think so. What that's going to be, I don't know. Like, is it going to be an AJ Daniel Bryan feud from now on?
That goes on to the Rumble or even WrestleMania?
I don't know. Do we have the Daniel Bryan Miz blow-off match at WrestleMania for the title?
It's too far away though, wouldn't it be?
Don't know. It kind of setting up for that, really, because if Miz wins the Mixed Match Challenge, he gets into the 30th spot. So, you know, in the Rumble, he wins the Rumble, Daniel Bryan is still champion. They're facing each other at Mania for the title. You know?
Yeah. Again, we go back to what we talked about earlier on. Vince was probably looking at us as saying, you know, you don't want to see Styles and Lesnar too.
It's one of these things that we just don't get anymore in wrestling, and maybe it's because we understand wrestling a lot more than we used to. But these are one of those things like we don't know what's going to happen, and I like it.
I like it. It's very unpredictable.
Yeah, I don't like. I do like the fact that I know as much as I do about wrestling now. I don't know everything. I don't confess to know everything. I know a bit, you know, but I miss these sort of situations where you just don't know what's going to happen, you know.
In a way,
and we haven't had that with WWE for a long time
because it's so out of nowhere, and because even though there were some light teasers, as we said last week with Brian tossing Shane, for example. And you maybe,
but see, you can't What was I going to say? You can't merge those 2 weeks together because they're two totally separate things.
Whatever the case, it was still part of the story.
Yeah.
And it almost, you could say, ruin. Now, this heel turn could ruin a possibility of a natural story of Bryan overcoming the odds and returning as the retirement babyface to win the title. So does that feel not as easy because of that?
No.
No?
I still think that we can look at it and say, like, this lad just returned from wrestling about nearly a year ago and he's WWE champion. You know?
I'm not saying, like, I'm looking forward to it because Bryan, we've all know what Bryan's like as a heel. Going back to a few years ago, like, so
I'd love like an American Dragon style.
Well, I think he doesn't need that.
It doesn't, but it'd still be good.
It'd be nice to see, and it makes it. Although it's still a match to look forward to now. Bryan versus Lesnar.
It also not so much stinks, but it's the exact same thing as what happened last year with the WWE Championship. It was going to be the WWE Champion, then Jinder Mahal against Brock Lesnar. And it was building and building for weeks, and people didn't want it to happen. People were begging for it not to happen. And then it was changed, and we got AJ Styles against Brock Lesnar. And let's be real here. People... I don't believe, like, I myself personally didn't want to see Brock Lesnar and AJ Styles again.
I had no problem with it personally.
I think maybe there was a decent number of people that didn't want to see it again because it probably would have went the same way as last time. AJ Styles put up a fight, Brock Lesnar gets to win.
Yeah.
Now, I still think it's probably going to end the same way
of course.
With Daniel Bryan in that match. Daniel Bryan put up a fight and then, you know, that's it, done, whatever. So, yeah, we'll see, but...
It certainly makes a very intriguing match because it's a heel versus heel match in this case, which makes it very unusual yet intriguing.
Yeah.
So, it'd be interesting to see how it'll turn out with that one. It really is. So, I look forward to it. Like, I see where you're coming from. It's basically repeating of last year. They're changing the match last minute. Not last minute. Well, yeah, this case last minute, but maybe it was a few weeks in advance than last week. But all the same, it's pretty awesome. Anyway, we move on. In at number 2, OTT. Now, you weren't there for that, so I'm going to have to give you a rundown for OTT Redemption that happened. So, a lot went down.
Yeah.
Mark Haskins, who I can tell you now, did have his championship contract. So, that's swept under the bus.
Always told you. I always told you.
I didn't disagree with you. I never did. So, but that was uncertain for months. We never knew if he cashed it in against Jordan a few months ago. But now we know he actually hasn't. He was just made number 1 contender. So he went up to LJ Cleary when Morton hyped the interview before the show started, and they had words before the show. Haskins hinted that he may cash in his contract against LJ, which LJ responded that he hasn't got the balls to cash in against Walter. But then Haskins said that maybe he should put his title on the line in the triple threat match and put the title on the line in the triple threat match because it was supposed to be Haskins, Scotty Davis, and Chris Ridgway in that match. So. Anyway, as for the matches itself, Travis Banks in Aussie Open defeated Morton Hype with Fletcher pinning Nathan Martin. It was actually a really good match. Banks seems to enjoy Morton Hype's antics. He was a bit of the face of Aussie Open with the proper heels. And very interestingly, LJ hurt his shoulder at the end of the match. He got posted, I think, by what's his name, Mark Davis, and he went off like holding his shoulder, like almost in pain. So
okay.
Yeah, Be Cool. Now, Be Cool took on Justy in a Justy Jitsu match. We're riding a proper wrestling match. We're riding a proper wrestling match, and it was very unusual the way it went down because it was basically like an MMA match because they had the boxing gloves. Justy came out in his bare feet, but you had
Justy came out in his bare feet. Jeez, there must have been some smell in that arena.
You had Justin Daniels as the special referee.
Okay.
You had
Redacted.
Yeah.
Redacted was the special referee.
If you're like, you had a special timekeeper keeping the bell, and you had Liam Royal as announcing the time limits. So every time it looked like Be Cool's going to attack Justy.
Sorry,
first
again.
rounds.
Who was it?
So Liam Royal was keeping was saying the points, if you like.
Yeah, and who was Who was the bell ringer?
He's going to kill me. I don't know his name. I forget his name.
Okay.
It was one of the guys who trains in Fight Factory.
Okay.
Oh, he's going to kill me for not knowing. I apologize. But every time it looked like Be Cool's going to do something. Nope, first round gone. Eventually, he overcame that. to, I was like the most random thing. Oh yes, punch, 50 points. Oh, he reversed it, minus 10 points for being cool. And in the end, he won the match when Justy pinned him, thanks to Foxy. Then Liam Royal attacked him after the match, and it just felt a bit unusual, that the whole thing. Like, I know why it happens. I won't say why in the show, but considering the whole history of the rivalry, I just felt But it's probably,
I'll have to watch to have a look at it. But maybe people were just, I don't know.
But it's probably against. But they probably did it over what they couldn't control.
Yeah, true.
Which is understandable. The Lads in the Flats beat Club Tropicana in a good match. But before the match, the Lads in the Flats nicked Jose Aldo's wallets.
Club Tropicana should be sacked then.
No, nothing happens.
They should be.
Well, they weren't.
Should be.
So you're still going by. This is their first loss since then, by the way.
Yep.
And you still think they should be now?
Yep.
There you go.
I'm telling you, it is. You know.
Well, we'll see what happens. They could easily be sacked next show. Who knows? I doubt it though. Anyway, in the end, Worky gave Jose Idol his wallet back. Apparently, they nicked it before that, and Jose Idol was particularly angry at this. He was, by the way, dressed up like one of those Latin ghosts that have like the unusual skull face.
You mean
paint.
the Day of the Dead?
Something like that, yeah. And he gave it back in the end, but he was really like the wallet apparently was his prized possession, so he was really angry about the whole thing there. Sammy D took on the incredibly over Dan Barry. Beat him in a very good match. Dan Barry, God Almighty! Wait till you hear the chant. Wait till you watch back that, because remember all the creative chants they had with Matt Riddle back in the day. This beats that times 20 million. Like, it was so mad. Jimmy Havoc beat Angel Cruz in. Oh, it was such a good. Now I'm not the easiest man to take a death match, but the weapons of choice were just so intriguing. You had Team P. Rick covered in barbed wire boxes as a weapon. They splashed on top of Jimmy Havoc with the barbed wire on the box. Mouse traps, stapling autograph pictures onto the heads and shoulders.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, the worst part was thumbtacks to the feet. And lemon after paper cuts.
Oh,
it was so. It was actually enjoyable. I actually really enjoyed the match.
You sadist.
I didn't think I would. I'm not one for death matches, but I severely enjoyed it. And they could be having a rematch now. They were saying, sure, I like it.
What's it? They're saying, let's have a life match next.
A life match.
Whatever that means.
I have no idea. Raven Creed.
Did they just play the game of life in the ring?
Well, I think they almost ended life in the ring, so maybe they're trying to make up for it.
Board game, the game of life.
I'm trying to remember.
I remember that.
Was that
just like a board game, you have to go around the squares, and there was like a spinny thing in the middle that would determine how many moves you do. And then you'd have to determine whether you you get cards and you say, oh, you marry your sweetheart and stuff like that. Yeah,
sounds like Sims.
Kind of before, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but like, it would be almost the opposite of a death match.
Okay.
I don't know, how does that work? You don't put pain on people?
Does somehow one of them give birth to life?
I don't know how that works.
Do they the only weapons that they can use are big inflatable letters, LIFE?
Yes, they attack each other with balloons.
Yeah.
And stuff that no one ever heard or something. Raven Creed defeated Lana Austin, a good match to retain her OTT women's title. Now, what was a fatal 4-way turned into a triple threat and then back to a fatal 4-way after Mark Haskins challenged LJ Cleary to compete in the match, despite doctor's orders, to put not just LJ's gender neutral title on the line, but Haskins was willing to put his contract on the line, which he was. So the match was for both the gender neutral title and the contract. Fantastic match. Eventually ended with Haskins submitting LJ with like the reverse armbar. Remember that armbar that Toronto Champ used to do?
His way of doing it, yeah. It's kind of like Ciampa's, or is it Gargano's or Ciampa's?
Ciampa's.
Yeah.
To both win the title and retain the contract. Really good match though. Some really good exchanges in particular from
strange
Scotty
decision though, isn't it, to take the belt off LJ and put it on Mark Haskins?
Well, I think it's adding maybe Haskins' status as or maybe to be more aware of him. It could add to a unification match between whoever's champion, if it's Walter, if it's someone else, if it's...
Do you really want to do that though? A unification?
I don't know. Imagine... I have a feeling he'll lose the title before he cashes in.
Yeah.
Who knows? And then the main events.
Well, see, the thing is though, like with LJ as champ, he defended that title in other promotions. I don't see Mark Haskins doing that.
You'd be surprised.
I wouldn't think so.
It could be a good thing if he does. We'll have to wait and see. But in the main event, fantastic match between Ring Camp, Timothy Thatcher and Walter, between Jordan Devlin and David Starr. And Jordan Devlin had Walter beat after his package pile driver before David Starr stopped Foxy counting the tree. Letting Ring Camp beat him in an awesome match.
Yeah.
But it was such a shocker. I'm like, oh my god, he has him beat. And then 1, 2. What are you doing? Oh my god.
Well,
it was shocking. And obviously David Starr explained his actions afterwards.
Yeah.
Via Facebook.
Yeah.
Saying,
I saw the video, but when I heard everything there, it seems as though it's just everything that was destined for the Will Ospreay Jordan Devlin feud. So I think that the same thing would have happened if Ospreay was able to take part in that match. I think Ospreay would have pulled the ref out, and it would have led to a match between those two.
This is way more shocking.
Then the winner would have got Walter.
I disagree, because I think this is way more shocking because it's David Starr, who is supposed to be Jordan Devlin's best friends. But it makes more sense because if you're not familiar with Walter,
I'm not saying like the shock factor wasn't as big for the Starr and Devlin one. I'm just saying I think that it was going to be the same plan, if you know what I mean.
I'm not sure. You might be right, but I'm not sure. But let's bear in mind the rivalry.
Dave, I'm always right.
No, you're not.
You're right.
David Starr and Walter, though, have had a huge rivalry over the last few years.
Yeah.
Where David Starr has never beaten Walter in probably God knows how many attempts all over the world, in the United States and Germany and the UK. Still, and he's determined to be the first one to do it. And here's Jordan now, was literally had him beat. And no, I have to be the one to beat him.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah. It was brilliant, though. I think it's brilliant. Yeah.
There was a stunned silence of people who left, though, that day. It was awesome. But anyway, in at number 1, there's only one team we could leave. There's only one team we could say for number 1, and that's Becky Lynch being left out of Survivor Series.
I'm gonna let you give your opinion first on this.
Well, we'll talk about it first.
Let's just talk about the incident.
We'll talk about the incident first. So it all started on Raw when SmackDown invaded the Raw locker room by first Becky Lynch attacking Ronda Rousey backstage by having her in her disarm her, literally making her suffer with it as well, until she came out, confronted the entire Raw team before they all came out in the back. Then they got into a huge melee in the ring, as they would. Then what happened out of nowhere, it seemed, out of nowhere, like, wait, hold on, Becky's nose is busted. How did that happen? Ronda came back out with literally half her arm.
I didn't watch Raw.
Right.
Live.
Right.
I had to wait till the next day.
Now, if I can just continue the story from Raw, if that's all right.
Oh, no. I just want to say, when I first saw that picture of Becky
right, with
the blood in her face, I thought it was someone else's. I thought she might have busted Ronda open or something like that.
And I thought it was a broken nose or something like that. I didn't think it was. There was anything to it. Like, but anyway, Ronda came out with like half her arm dangling off after the disarmer earlier on, and Becky bailed. Rousey fought everyone off, but she was struggling with her arm until Becky hit her with a chair, and then they all ran off. And it was so awesome with Becky. Like, it's literally stone cold Becky Lynch right now, and she was so over. She was easily the highlight of Raw. This
is the best thing that could have happened. Like you know yourself how skeptical I was about the Becky turn when it first happened, because I wanted to make sure that it was going to go somewhere, and I'm so glad that it has gone somewhere.
She's easily the best thing in WWE.
She's the best thing about WWE.
Easily.
By far. But best thing I think maybe in pro wrestling right now.
That's a good shout. I can't disagree with you.
I can't think of anything else that's much better.
I don't disagree with you at all. I think you're on the money there. Now, but unfortunately, it was announced the very next night after they showed this whole clip. Becky Lynch had a fractured face and a concussion from a
broken face.
So excuse me, a broken face.
Broken face.
This is Dublin lingo they're using in WWE, which I like, to be fair. And they discovered it was from a very stiff right hand from Nia Jax that caused it. So Becky came out with the rest of the women, and she basically did a determined promo saying, listen, I tried to be cleared, but I ran out of time. Last night they invaded Raw, she tasted blood, but she still beat the hell out of Rousey. And
love the line, you're not the baddest woman on the planet, you're the luckiest.
Indeed. I love that.
I love that.
So she had to choose her replacements to face Ronda Rousey, and she chose Charlotte. They all made their cases. There's a huge argument for Asuka, actually, which wouldn't have been the bad shouts. And they, despite their differences over the last weeks and months, they shook hands and hugged it out.
Yeah, the hug was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
So, where do we start?
Do you think the hug was too much?
I
think the handshake could have been perfect.
Well, the fact that she left straight away makes up for it. So,
yeah. So, okay, I'll agree with you there. Yeah.
So they made. I applaud what WWE did in the sense where they did the best they could out of a difficult situation. Mm-hmm. Especially because the match now between Charlotte and Rousey was heavily rumored to be the WrestleMania match. WrestleMania main event.
Now we have a new possible WrestleMania main event,
which I like, which is awesome. And it also finally starts building the horsewoman versus horsewoman feud, which was going to happen anyway with Becky and Rousey. But maybe now Becky is the forefront on that because of her run at the moment, which is even better. But you can't help but feel for Becky. After all this, and now something
I don't know.
Happens.
I don't know. It's look.
Like, listen,
it's temporary.
And
she's not going to stop being who she is when she comes back.
That's true, and in a sense, it could turn the negative into a positive later on.
Yeah.
If all things go well, if she continues doing so well.
Well, what do you think about Nia though?
Oh, Nia.
Now,
well, here's the thing about Nia. Okay.
OTT have brought back their F off Nia. Are you in that consensus?
Well, I understand that she has had. I understand totally why she's getting all the stick she has, and she should accept it. Now, one thing I have a hard time accepting, and I imagine this is just. I don't believe this is genuine, but if you've noticed all the tweeting back and forth between everyone, and then Nia coming up and saying, "Well, what about my hands?"
Yeah, that's her just trying to get heat.
Exactly. To say she's doing it deliberately, I think.
Yeah, she is.
She's making the next little situation. I think she was encouraged to do that. Like, that's wrestling for you, and that's it's fine. And if we see her getting her ass kicked by Becky later on, that's fine with me. She could easily come to Raw without even being invited. There's nothing even to do with Survivor Series, and that'll be that. But this is what just to explain this is what happened between. I have the tweets here in front of me here about what Becky said to what Nia said first and foremost, saying, "Hey, we don't deliver mail. Things happen. Is anyone going to ask me about how my fist feels?" And she had her fist there with a small little scar on it. Becky responded saying, "You gave me your best sucker punch, but I got back up to destroy your whole roster. They won't let me fight, and I'll get back up for that too. That's what I do. So enjoy your one free shot, because as bad as my memory is now, I haven't forgotten you. Biatch."
Yeah.
So she isn't going to forget it. And here's the thing about Nia. I mean, she had and what's unfortunate about it is that I've been trying to compliment her at certain stages of the year. Her match with Ronda earlier on this year I thought was easily her best match. But the problem is she's still getting involved in all these botches, which are very dangerous. Like, she injured Alexa Bliss, she injured Zelina Vega recently, and now Becky.
Yeah,
she needs to be careful.
She's had past of Charlotte as well.
Yeah,
giving Charlotte a concussion by trying to give her a shoulder breaker.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, God. So she needs to seriously focus a lot more. Otherwise, I understand totally why a lot of people are saying, "Yeah, bring it back down to developments," because this is the fundamentals that you're breaking that are causing all this stuff. Like, you know.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't. And on this level that you're wrestling in, you shouldn't be this unsafe. End of story. No excuses. Regardless who you work with. The fact that you're working in this level means you have to be more careful. I don't want to abuse her over the whole thing, because she should know herself. Like, we shouldn't even have to tell her. No, every person from any podcast or any blog, any fan or any wrestler who's mad at her right now shouldn't even have to tell her. She knows herself.
Yeah.
End of story.
Okay.
Otherwise she should be back in development if she doesn't realise that. I like to think that tweet is out of just
trying to catch you.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
and that's good.
Just trying to catch you.
That's good.
Yeah.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
What's your take on it now? That's my take. Like, where do you stand with Nia on this in particular?
Look, accidents happen.
They do.
Now, the thing is, we'll never know what the real story is. I fully believe that what happened was that obviously we saw the big melee, and I think it was both Naomi and Becky was going after Nia for a while, and I think maybe there was a few stiff shots in there, and I think just for a second Nia lost it.
I seen the video what you're talking about where there was people.
I think she just lost it. I think she just got really angry, and everyone's had these moments before where they get really angry and they lash out in different ways. In this scenario, she was in a ring, she was wrestling, she swung, she hit, she connected, she did more damage than I think anyone would ever hope. If she tried to do that 9 times out of 10, she wouldn't do anywhere near as much of the damage as she did. But the fact that Becky wasn't expecting it, the fact that Nia wasn't expecting to do that,
and the timing is just horrendous.
Exactly, the timing's just horrendous.
The worst time.
Everything that could make this situation worse is happening right now.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You got the hot heel on a roll, and then you've got
an easily the most over.
You've got
thing in
someone
all of wrestling.
who has been targeted before for doing this, doing it to the hot heel on the roll.
Not just any heel, as you said yourself, probably the most over person on SmackDown. Oh, in wrestling.
In wrestling, right?
Never mind WWE. Yeah. In wrestling,
exactly.
Bartan Barry, of course.
So like, I'm not going to be as quick as everyone else to be like, you know.
No, we're not going to. No, I want you there.
F off Nia or blah blah this or da, you know.
Like, we're looking at this from purely an outside perspective, and we have every right to be with Becky, and 100%, especially from a patriotic point of view. But we see this as a way where it's like, oh, it's the worst thing. But
see, the thing is, like, I'm not going to sit here and like you know yourself, because you've had for the last God knows how many episodes are on there, like 115, 118. You've had me rant about certain things,
a lot,
booking wise. But when stuff like this happen, genuine accidents happen, there's no point in us digging the boot in anymore, because 1, she knows herself. 2, she's getting it from every which way, from social media or any way possible.
So she probably can't avoid this right now.
Yeah. The next step she does is the important one.
No, don't get us wrong. We're not giving her sympathy here.
No. She deserves criticism.
100%.
She does. There's no point in me just having a rant now for the next 5 minutes on it. There's no point.
Although she would deserve it.
She would deserve it. She would.
Mm-hmm.
I look at it this way, and it's kind of like I'm going to be like the parent right now, even though like I'm in no situation to do it. But like, you know how the parents like, I'm not angry, Nia, I'm disappointed.
That hurts so much more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, because Nia was doing okay. She was on this roll. She had a run. She was on a really good roll leading up to WrestleMania when she was women's champ. Okay, she lost the title because they wanted to push Rousey instead. She was starting this program now with Ember Moon. She was looking like she was going to have a tag team set up when they brought in women's tag team titles. And then just this goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
What I would love next week is, I'd love her to embrace this. Embrace this hatred to be a different type of heel. To be the heel that Vince wants heels to be. Hated. And go out, and I would love to see her come out next week,
right,
on Raw, to Ronda Rousey, and just say, you owe me a thank you for getting you out of that match with Becky.
Oh, you know what? And when you think about it, the best heels sometimes are always it starts with something that happens out of the blue or happens out of script, and they embrace it. Vince McMahon is the best example of this. After the Montreal Screwjob, he used that heat to become the Mr. McMahon that we loved in the Attitude Era. Here's your chance, Becky. Yeah, this is it. And if she's smart, she'll embrace. I agree with you. So use it then. Do what Becky's going to do after this. She is going to use this opportunity possibly to have Rousey at WrestleMania. Never mind Survivor Series now. This is do this the same.
Don't shy away and just feeling guilty for all this time, because you know Becky's not going to do that.
No,
you know Becky is going to use this as a platform to propel herself forward even more.
Use her as a mantle.
Go with her that way.
Yes.
Do it.
Sure, she'll beat the crap out of you in the process, but at least she's there to teach you the lesson that the way of thinking that she is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There you go. I mean, we're trying to motivate or turn this negative into a positive, which I like to think we're doing the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think so.
On that
Yeah,
note,
I know it feels weird, all right, to be like this positive and stuff like this.
you're brushing off me all of a sudden.
I know.
I'm usually the positive one. I'm turning into you, and you're turning into me. I'm the one who's ranting. You're the one who's trying to be positive.
I know.
What's wrong with us?
Maybe I'm just tired.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I know it's not a monster in front of you as well, so it's kind of strange.
I know.
Unless it's
No monster.
On that note, that's all our top 10 this week. Let's finish off our show now with our yes nos.
Yes! No! Yes! No! Yes! No!
Again, guys, if you haven't checked out our predictions for Survivor Series or War Games, make sure to check them out at our timeline on Podbeam, YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify. You can check our predictions for NXT War Games and Survivor Series there. But in the meantime, we're just going to address rumors here.
Can I just tell you this piece of news that I just read?
Go for it.
Right now. Enzo Amore
Okay.
was kicked off a flight by a flight attendant
Because
for vaping and refusing to stop.
okay.
Why? Why is that in news? Why do people care so much?
Oh, well, no. Why are we even
like,
talking about that?
Why? It's all the wrestling news people are talking about it.
Enzo's such an enthralling character to some people.
And then during the week, someone took a picture of Enzo at a indie show, and he looks a little heavier than he used to be.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, but it's like, what cares?
He's not a 205 anymore, is he?
No.
Let's
People were dropping the C from his name and calling him Big something else.
let's move on anyway. Drew McIntyre to win either the WWE or Universal title next year.
By this time next year, yes.
He seems positioned to be pushed to that level now.
Yeah.
And unlike what Braun is doing at the moment, like we're hearing all this backstage heat where Braun is having. Drew's not like that at all. He's smart when it comes to.
He knows his stuff.
He knows his stuff.
Give him the ball and let him run with it.
Rusev to leave WWE. There's a lot of rumors of unrest at the moment with him and Lana and the way he's been booked. It's just, especially in the back of the whole Rusev Day stuff, and now nothing's happening after the Aiden English stuff.
Yeah. No. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think he's just using it so he can get people on the side and stuff.
Maybe.
And take that back to, say, Vince and say, look how much love I have on Twitter.
That's it.
Push me.
The Undisputed Era to be called up around Survivor Series afterwards.
No, I'm going to stick with my original one, I think, after WrestleMania.
Well, for one, they're still tag champions, so I suppose
Exactly.
unless they lose it like next week and they're still, I don't know, or unless they do like a small thing once off and then that's that.
Yeah.
The Undertaker to appear at Survivor Series. Why would he turn up one?
In what case? Like, what scenario would the Undertaker show up?
There's no reason to be fair.
No.
Just be a
There's no
spectator.
reason for him to show up.
I if he's there, I'd be curious to see why, but honestly, I don't see why he would. Rob Van Dam to return to WWE.
No.
There's a bit of rumors going around about that.
No.
No?
No.
I wouldn't mind seeing it though if he did.
No.
Daniel
They've got to get away from this whole, like, bringing, like, these people back. I don't think they need it.
Daniel Bryan, now that he's turned heel, to feuds at some point with Shane McMahon.
Please, no.
Don't like it?
No.
Considering their history together, I think that'd be interesting, no?
No.
Why not?
No, because they'll probably give Shane the feckin' WWE title as well.
Oh, listen, let's not be, this is probably if he's not champion.
Oh, God.
No, I'm much there.
No.
Like, not for the title, that makes no sense.
No.
It wouldn't be there. Oh, well, not now, but when he's not champion.
Daniel Bryan and... Maybe he's a once-off, but...
Yeah.
Like,
Not for the title.
like, just don't have that be the WrestleMania match.
No, it won't be the
Don't,
WrestleMania
please don't be
match.
the It could probably... It probably will be.
No, it won't be.
It probably will be.
Please.
Watch.
No, that,
For some reason,
no, even I hope.
I don't see Daniel Bryan holding the title to Mania.
Possibly not. In that case, could you see Bryan and Shane? Or
That's
Mania?
what I'm saying. He'd probably be at Mania and be a waste of a Daniel Bryan match at WrestleMania.
And finally, Alexa Bliss to retire.
I heard that. No. Don't think so. I think these stars are being blown out of proportion.
Because of the injuries, is it?
Yeah, I think so. Because of the head injury, because of the concussion.
Oh, is it? Well, if it's that serious of an injury, There's also a rumor going around of Paige.
No.
Yeah, but she quickly
She
dismissed
addressed
that.
that.
Exactly, yeah. So that's out of the way. But anyway, on that note, that's all the time we have this week on the Kick Out, your weekly pro wrestling guide, right here on 90.3 Near FM, the EMC Podcast Network, and all good podcasting providers. Make sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Check out all our podcast content on Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, and Podbeam. Check out my Twitter at Dave Bandana and Darzats.
Mars Bar.
And that's it this week. So we're heading into Survivor Series week now, and we'll have a lot to talk about next week now. So we'll have the War Games and Courage and Survivor Series to talk. So we have a packed show to talk about. So
Huge show.
show.
Yeah, better remember all this stuff.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about then. So until then, I've been Dave Cullen. He's been Daragh Maher. This has been the Kick Out, your weekly pro wrestling guide. Thank you so much for listening. Stay sound.